I've been expecting you, Mr. Bond. Ironically, never actually said in any Bond film. But that's right, we have a new car in Rocket League, and it's a cool one at that. The iconic Aston Martin DB5 from the James Bond films, and personally, I love this car to pieces, so I am delighted to get my hands on it. But how does it feel? Is it any good? And more importantly, is it worth your money? So to start off with, let's take a look at the customization options of the car, which, as a licensed product, isn't a great deal. You can use whichever boosts, trails and goal explosions you like, but that's basically all you can do. Everything else is all pretty much locked up. You do get a decal of sorts, but it's more like a paint finish, and you can either have it set to none, which will give you a kind of pearlescent look to show the blue and orange coming through over the default paint finish, or you can equip the decal / paint finish to give it that sort of classic silver birch paint finish that the DB5 really has. And the blue and orange colour won't shine through if you select that. I played some games with the pearlescent look, but I think I prefer it without personally, but you can decide that for yourself. The car does also feature a license plate of A426900, which I think is probably a little bit of a 42069 meme, but it could be another Easter egg, so if any of you sleuths out there want to try and decode this hidden message, then feel free and let me know in the comments. Now the car has the Octane hitbox, which should in theory be a good one for me because I primarily use the Octane hitbox, but it all depends on how the visual model is represented by it and how it feels out on the pitch. As you can see in the footage here, the back end of the car really seems to fall through the floor quite a bit, and that might lead to some possible confusion with flicks, but we'll have to see how that is actually in-game. The front seems to behave absolutely fine, and it does seem as though there's a little bit of clear space on the sides, but it's not a great deal to make it a problem for me. But to give it a proper test, I played a few 1v1 games to see how it copes with a more grounded play style, and then a 3v3 game to see how I cope with less time on the ball and more freedom to go into the air. And this is how it went. Now the first thing I noticed, which was really cool, is that when you load into a game you get a nice little James Bond sound effect, which I thought was a really cool little touch. The next thing I noticed was that, possibly unsurprisingly, it felt very much like the Octane, as you would come to expect from an Octane hitbox car. With that being said, in the 1v1s I played, I did find that I was struggling with my kickoffs a bit. Whether that is down to the car or whether it was just me having an inconsistent day is still very much up for debate, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was the latter. But just look at this thing. It's absolutely stunning. Movement wise, it feels very smooth. I even managed to win a few kickoffs in this game as well, which I have to say I wasn't really expecting considering how it was going previously. But overall, I'm quite impressed. It seems to handle pretty well. I got some pretty decent ground plays in. I got soft touches, power shots, dribbles, low 50s, etc. All in all, I'd say the 1v1s were a success. Even though I lost quite a few, it was my first time playing ones in quite some time, so I gave myself a little bit of leeway, but all the games really were close games. And yeah, I just had to get back into the swing of things with ones really. Now of course, as a big fan of designing cars in the game, it is a bit of a shame that there is a lack of customization options, and that's one of the downsides of licensed DLC like this. But it is 1100 credits, and that's quite a lot for something you can't stick your favourite black market decal on. But let's be real here, who would want to deface such a beauty with a heat wave? The 3v3 games were much and such the same as the 1v1s, thoroughly enjoyable and couldn't really pick a fault with the car's performance. Do I dare say that it's OP? Both of the 3v3 matches I played in, I finished MVP, so you can say that about that what you will. However, it is important to note, like I say on all these things, it is an Octane hitbox. It's no different from the Octane. It behaves identically. The only thing that changes is all in your head. That's just the placebo. I've got a whole video that covers the different hitboxes and placebo and why you think cars feel differently to others even though they've got the same hitbox, so if you want, you can go watch that. But yeah, generally, if you're a big fan of James Bond, if you're a big fan of Aston Martin like I am, then this could be very well for you. Obviously, it does cost money, so you should only really pay for it if you can afford it. And like I said, there are plenty of other options out there that don't cost this much money. But yeah, for me, as a big Aston Martin fan, and a big fan of this car in particular, I'm over the moon to have it. Like I said, it's got really nice movement, it's got really nice power shots, it's got really nice ground play. Everything about it is working for me, and I'm probably going to main this car for quite a few weeks now because I'm really enjoying it. But that'll just about do it for this one, so thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it that little thumbs up down below, and maybe even subscribe if you're feeling super generous. I did have another video planned for this week instead of this one, but that's going to be pushed back until next week because, well, the Aston Martin came out, and how could I say no to that? But yeah, thanks again for watching, and until next time, bye!